Hi, welcome to my thoughts on Arrow Season 1, Episode 16, Dead to Rights. The episode is rated TV 14, so will this video be? There will be spoilers for the episode and all the ones leading up to it. Another episode I love. It has been a couple of hours since I finished watching the episode for reasons. Nothing serious, just, let's see. I think, what is the English word again? Handyman. But it sounds like the noisy work is done, so I should be able to record. I guess we'll see. Let's see. So the but yeah, I think I remember the most significant parts of the episode at least. So let's see. Yeah, I thought this episode did a really great job getting, further developing this the undertaking plot line. It's the situation is very different from the start to the end of the episode. For more working hard, not hardly working to get Merlin killed, and then now she's going to have to find the traitor. That is a very, very short game of hide and go seek, but which is also, he seemingly does still trust her a lot to be saying, to tell her to do that. He feels confident that she's not the one. Or is he playing her? Is he gonna see what she does to, I guess we'll see. Let's see, and they did a good job developing his character. He really does care. He is not just this, he's not completely cold, and that does complicate matters. And, let's see, the return of Floyd Lawton. Very, very cool. I think... Let's get into the chronological. I think the very first thing we see is the training. Now this is one of those things where you have to be very careful, because obviously, Diggle spells it out. It's as long as she's part of the team, he really wants her to have some more training, or to have some training. It's not necessarily that, she would have needed a lot of training to get past the Dodger without him attaching but nevertheless, she was already in danger. It would have taken a lot of training to get her out of that danger without them helping, but without the other two members of the team helping, but still, clearly she's going to need training. However, there are some things that you really want to be careful showing. If you want us to like a character, don't show them in a physical, seemingly violent situation with a woman, especially if the woman ends up not, it'd be one thing if she, hit him and he did nothing or something, but... clearly he did something and she ended up landing, especially if the woman is white and the man is black. Or the other ethnic minorities would also be bad. But that is one of the mixes that are especially, because we don't really want people to thinking, is she going to call the cops on him for, calling out the lack of leash on her dog? This is, yeah. So I think it was very smart, the way they handled it. We don't really see what happened. We normally see what happens when it's Dig and Oliver training physically. And let's see, I think... And it is also made very clear, he didn't do it because he likes to do that sort of thing. He feels like they have to get her into fighting shape. And possibly out of dancing shape, though I am not an expert on both of those things. Yeah, remember that? That is an old ass. Was that a College Humor sketch? It was fun. Anyway, moving on. The let's see. Yeah. Um, oh wait, yeah. I guess before that scene. Anyway, yeah. It's already not completely chronological, but yeah, we have the thing about I do sometimes I'm a mark. I really love that trope. Yeah. What do you mean he's already landing? We were supposed to have more time. Move, move, move. Just like yeah, and yeah, very very cool. With he lands and he's like half the payment now, half the payment after the job is finished, and yeah, pretty obscene amount of money, and yeah, Arrow shows up and the what's the word yeah, he gets the arrows out, and this guy has got like knives for days, even leap days. And yeah, very clever. He throws the knives to so that arrows are not gonna make not gonna resolve this. So yeah, they get into a physical fight up close. Very very cool. I really appreciate when they do these things, because like at the end of the day, you gotta. It's not as interesting if every time like he just uses the bow and arrow, and I think they've done a good job. I think really every episode has done a good job of avoiding that. There's always been some kind of variation on it, but yeah. Um, I think but yeah, he does take out the assassin. So they don't have a name, but they do have a hackable, thing, and she gets into the hacking. Um, and I think that does bring us to, let's see. And she didn't have as much of a reaction this time. So to hearing, oh yeah, he killed this guy. So I mean, I can appreciate, yeah, killing an assassin is very different from killing a businessman who's a father of a small child, So, yeah, I think, but yeah, very clever. Um, this thing of turns out, you know, well, I suppose okay, we the audience had figured, but yeah, it's only later that Team Arrow realizes, yeah, the assassin was targeting Mr. Merlin, so now the Triad has to find someone else, and Mr. Lawton. And the thing about, you've fallen off. No, I knew you were there. I just didn't care if you killed me or not. Holy crap. Yeah. Because that's, his identity was he's the assassin, without, with the eye all messed up. And they give him the thing, I forget what it's called, but the lens maybe that he has in some of the comics. Very, very cool. Love it. Yeah. Not hugely surprised that he returned and got that upgrade, but very happy to see it. And it is one of those things like, yeah, Oliver had to cure Dig. So and he didn't follow up on, did they find Floyd's dead body? Because he was busy convincing Dig to join the. I guess at that point he wasn't even a team yet. The solo, yeah, enterprise, and yeah, he kind of figured either Floyd is dead or he is at least no longer a threat, and yeah, very very cool way to do that, and yeah, the thing about the was the thing I was good and you will be better. Yeah, very very nicely done. And I do also appreciate, yeah, she, that was, he was not her first choice, but Arrow keeps taking out the other assassins. Yeah, I guess, yeah, Arrow really does not think highly of Lawton because he wasn't, he didn't intercept him. Um, fair enough. And I think that does bring us to, yeah. So the thing with, Mr. Merlin, the birthday, that was also a great, yeah. It's they are genuinely a serious couple, McKenna and Oliver. He's bringing him to to his childhood friends, and it is also one of those things they already know. Well, let's see. No, I guess did Laurel already know? Yeah. They know each other because job, but yeah, Tommy and Oliver and McKenna go back for the partying also, which. Or wait, no, I guess Laurel was. You know what? I'm gonna move on. But yeah, and it's that thing about and Tommy like had a feeling because like even before Mr. Merlin shows up, he's like, I just don't want Dad to ruin this too, and he throws the present, which like that's one way to handle it, I guess. But yeah, I mean he's honest when he says, I want you to be there, and he even says, the money can come back, and it is, the great thing, I don't need your money anymore, and the thing about, you taught me that I couldn't depend on you multiple times. And it is this thing of like, because we know, he disappeared because he had to like find a way, that he was processing. He didn't handle it super well necessarily, but like, I forget if they've come right out and said it, but I feel like the undertaking definitely is at least partially because of the death of, because in this episode we find out, she was mugged and shot. She was just going to her car, and yeah, he, I I don't know exactly what he's going to do, but it definitely I feel like definitely has to do with that. Is inspired by that. So it's not like he just didn't care about her or Tommy. I think the next thing was perhaps the yeah, very clever, the to get to find out about the the assassination, the thing about it, they have to find a they have to get information from the triad, so they go to the triad front, and she's like, no, I'm hungry for Chinese. I'm hungry, let's get a taco. And yeah, the thing about he goes off and fights, and was that a hot sauce into that guy's eyes? Holy crap. And yeah, he what's the word, he gets a little bit of information, and then and the thing about who did this, their accent was perfect. It's definitely a Chinese person. Very nicely done, because like the dude walks right past Oliver because he's like, well, that guy's not Chinese, but I'm thinking because of Yao Fei, he now speaks fluent Chinese, so very nicely done there. And let's see, I think that brings us to the yeah, so the actual celebration where he's getting that award, and he actually says, I'm not worthy of this yet, but I hope one day I will be. And he actually says, I have failed Starling City. So like yeah, I mean, that is a very interesting, because like at this point in the season, that is like, yeah, it he certainly knows that that is something that Arrow says. Now, I think, does that pretty well get us to the, let's see. Yeah, the fact that Frank has to just avoid the talking to him. And yeah, the thing about, okay, we're gonna flush them out. And also the bit with Tommy. Oh, that was so good. Okay, I think I'm hearing some noise. Maybe it'll get noisy soon. Okay, maybe I'll finish the video soon. Okay, so let's see. We have the yes. He doesn't know that that's Floyd's plan, getting him into the penthouse. And yeah, it is very clever that he didn't. And he actually, yeah, he seemingly didn't fall for it, and he wants to make sure Tommy is safe, and there's a panic room, he says, but it's, it's a fighting chance. He's gonna fight back, and he would have if not for being hit, and I think, and he took a few to the chest, was wearing a vest, but curare. I think that does, but yeah, the fact that Oliver reveals to Tommy, and his, the first question is, "What are you ever going to tell me?" And the thing about, how can I trust you? And yeah, he reveals it because he does really want to save Mr. Merlin. Which also, yeah, because I don't know, would he be as if he knew that Mr. Merlin was black, or I don't know what to call him, but anyway. I think that does pretty well bring us to, then we have the, let's see. So there's obviously the flashbacks. Is the flashbacks maybe all that is left? I think, right, the rematch of Kelly Hu's character and Oliver, awesome. And this time he won, which is interesting because I think she's the type who's gonna find a way to get what's the word, like she's gonna upgrade herself somehow, not necessarily technologically, but train or something, maybe a new weapon, something, for the next time they fight, because I don't think she takes it well when she loses. I think that pretty well gets, but yeah, very interesting with Tommy. He didn't say that he wasn't gonna tell anyone, like, ever, because it's possible that he just wanted to be able to talk to Tommy, to Oliver. Okay, I'm hoping I'm drowning out the noise and it's not too. I think I'm just gonna try to finish the video quickly. But yeah, so he did not say. He said, I don't know who he is. Which. So at least for now, he's keeping the secret. It's also possible he's still trying to figure out how he's going to, if he really is going to keep the secret long term or not. It might have depended on the answer. Maybe there's other questions he's going to ask, something. But I think that does pretty well cover that entire plot line. I think let's see, then we have, I think that does just leave the flashback. So yeah, more really great stuff. I really... The thing about, well, my father fixed these all the time. What, you think it's genetic? What, you think, oh, well, my uncle, taught at MIT and Unabomber and everything. But no, he's like, no, I worked on this. I barely know what to do, but I think I have an idea of what to do, and ultimately they can't radio out, but they can listen in, and there's, another plane that they could try to take. And the thing about, am I going alone? And the thing that, so I hope you like barbecue, which is funny because, like, what else are they gonna eat on there, And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I spent 6 hours in a tree to get this for you, but if you don't want it, just, yeah, really, really great stuff. Yeah, I think that does pretty well cover. Right, I will just, I meant to do this before, but I'm just gonna real quick skim the right, so very interesting that the mother returns, and I have no idea what they're actually gonna do with the, like, yeah, so she, I don't, Because, like, we didn't see Sarah die. We saw her disappear into the water, and we kind of assumed. But, you know, yeah, I don't know. Maybe she is back. And it's also, it's a great new relationship to bring in, because obviously things are tense because she left years ago. In part because of, well, not, I don't know if it was Sarah or Detective Lance Graham Linehaning, but, you know, and it seems like they haven't had contact maybe since at all. Because for a while there, Detective and Laurel were very close together. So, you know, yeah, and yeah. So, but the yeah, when we saw Sarah disappear under the water, I gotta admit, I thought she was dead. I made an assumption, and you gotta be careful with that, because when you make an assumption, you make an ass out of you and umption.